Well, good morning, traders. Happy Monday. We're seeing a slight risk-off tone to markets this morning, but it's nothing too substantial, something that we are keeping a firm eye on, and certainly watching the Australian market today as a potential leading indicator for other markets coming through. But certainly the conversations I've been having and most of the debates we've been having on the floor really centres less around the reopening of economies, and that is obviously something that's still very prevalent, but more about this growing divergence that we're seeing between the real economy, potential solvency risks, and also where financial markets are priced at the moment, that disconnects, that dislocations that you're seeing in those financial markets. Okay, let's have a look at the FX Open here. We can see that the MEX has found a few sellers. Obviously, they've got a credit rating downgrade on Friday. Market's pricing that in. You've got dollar CAD up about 0.3%. The CAD finding a few sellers there. The fact that WTI prices are down 1.7% in the June contract, obviously hitting that one. You've got a few sellers in the Antipodeans, but nothing too substantial. Flat open coming through in euro dollar, so the dollar index unchanged on the day. That's one we're watching very closely this week. Euro dollar, euro Swiss, the euro crosses, with the Eurogroup heads of state meeting this week, and it's going to be one where we're going to see a huge amount of data to play through tier one as well. So a bit of a quiet open in FX, some selling in some of the high beta names. Have a look at the index open though. That's a really interesting one. S&P futures down 0.9%. They're finding a few sellers in quite obviously a very liquid time. Nasdaq down 0.7%. Let's see how this plays into the Australian and Japanese and Asian markets more broadly. This is the S&P futures. This is where we closed the cash session on Friday. So a bit of a whippy move, but ultimately we're down 0.7% from that change. So that's a headwind for the Australian Open. We'll see how SPI futures open a little bit later on. Look at the oil markets here. So you're seeing June contract down 2% now. The May contract, which everyone's rolling out into June, there's not a huge amount of open interest in May now. It's expiring this week. So I wouldn't read into that too much. It's the June you want to look at there, and you're seeing some sellers playing through in June, WTI and Brent. Gold prices down a touch. I think the market got a little bit spooked by the fact that the Fed are now buying only 15 billion of treasuries. That's something that we're watching very closely because that was a very ominous looking candle on the weekly. And my chart for the day is what's happening on the ASX 200. Have a look at this big move down. We've got this narrowing in terms of range. Only time will tell. Trade it here with Pepperstone.